Are we going to be seeing Khilafah soon? What would be the answer? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned in a hadith, he said that there will be prophethood as long as Allah wills. We know this hadith. And he said it will remain as long as Allah would want it to remain. And then will come Khilafah, Khalif, on my method. And then there will come kingship. And then after this kingship, with the kingdom, will come oppressive kingship. After the oppressive kingship will come the Khilafah on the method of prophethood. Right now, if you take a look at the world politics and power, you will see that we are living in that stage where Rasulullah said there will be kingship with much oppression. So this is the stage. So the next, my point is the next stage would be Khilafah. So are we going to see Khilafah coming soon? Before we talk about this, I want to discuss a few things, dear brothers and sisters, about what is happening with the Khorasan army. The leaders have said, the Khorasan army, as I refer to them, in other words, you can also refer them as the Taliban. They said that they want an Islamic government, but what does it mean? In other words, this Khorasan army, they would not accept any other law other than Islamic Sharia law. Khorasan army, they have already rejected democracy. Khorasan army has generally rejected democracy, and its key component, elections, its representatives often put forward two types of arguments for their position. They often point to the flaws of the democratic system and elections in Afghanistan across the past 2 decades, and argue that these failures occurred because democracy and popular vote have no base in Afghanistan, end quote. They prefer Shura al-Hal wal-Aqd system. What does this mean? They also maintain, this Khorasan army, the Taliban, they maintain that elections and democracy lack precedence in a pre-modern period of Islamic thought, the period which they see as being most authentically Islamic. They consider some methods of selection of rulers in pre-modern Muslim world to be more authentically Islamic. For example, Shura al-Hal wal-Aqd, the council of those who are qualified to elect or dispose a Khalif on behalf of the Muslim community. This is what Shura al-Hal wal-Aqd is referring to. There are few problems that they will face when it comes to establishing Khilafah or Sharia. Number one, dear brothers and sisters, the West, they do not want to deal with an Islamic government. Especially what we see in France, they're completely against any kind of Islamic value. Forget about laws, Islamic dress code, things like that. Britain, they do not want to see an Islamic government. In fact, the World War I was fought when the Ottoman Khilafah was siding with Germany. In other words, Britain will use that same excuse they used in the past in World War I, saying that we should not allow a parallel superpower in our time. In other words, there should not be any Sharia. And this inshallah we'll discuss a little bit more in a second. But the second obstacle these people will face in order to have a Khilafah is that the West fear the ramification of Khilafah, as this will clearly create a parallel superpower. The world already has so many superpowers right now: Russia, China, US, Europe. So they do not want to have another superpower and shake the status quo. Number 3 obstacle this will face for the Khilafah to be spread all across this region and the countries is that they need the Afghan, the Khorasan army, they need China more than ever before. In fact, China seems to be the only country that can fix this country right now, especially given that they are also their neighboring country. A few points why Khilafah might be coming. Even after all of this, despite all of this, we might still see Khilafah coming. Now, these are my arguments, subjective. I'm not using any anecdote, or I'm not using any facts. Very subjective. This is what I believe. Why Khilafah is coming, and there is a great possibility it might come through the Khorasan army, the Taliban. Number 1, the Khorasan army is adamant on it. They know their own government, they failed with democratic system. They have proof that Ashraf Ghani, their own president, he fled the country. People say the government was very corrupt. They took in $2 trillion from US, did nothing for the country. It all went in their pocket. So now this Khorasan army will say, hey, look, Your democracy, you want us to follow democracy? Like, well, come on. Democracy is hypocrisy, as people say. Number two, their unequivocal military power or victory from Allah Azza wa Jal will inspire them to stick to Islam, at least for now. The way they come to power, the way they have overrun all of these provinces in Afghanistan, dear brothers and sisters, if you think about it, some people, they say it's just miracle. 20 years, $2 trillion, thousands of lives, and it took them only 12 days to undo everything that was done for the last 20 years. So people say this is a miracle from Allah. Allah must help them, otherwise this is not possible. So this group, the Khorasan army, will use that as an inspiration to justify establishing Khilafah, because Allah wants the believers to follow a Khilafah, Islamic law, Islamic Sharia law. So they might get inspired from this victory, 12-day victory. Current Muslim world is corrupt and in most part, and they're divided. The other reason why Khilafah might be coming is because Muslim countries, they're corrupt, most of them, and almost all of us, we are divided. So that could be a good indication that it is time that Allah Azza wa Jal will send a Khilafah system for all of us, and that might come from this group, as we know, the Khorasan army. Now, I want to also make few more comments before I answer your question. Muslims are marginalized, oppressed around the world, including France, Palestine, India. This is very, very important for all of us to understand. We have seen the Muslims are suffering, okay? Whether it is in a Muslim country, non-Muslim country, doesn't matter. It looks like they are in big trouble everywhere. I have seen actually a video the other day in India. I think it was just horrible what happened with a Muslim. So this might also encourage them to establish a Khilafah and bring the rest of the Muslim countries in the world under one umbrella and fight or protect the Muslims, I should say. And this is a great possibility, especially now that we see what happened in Palestine, in France, in India, in many parts of the world. So these are some of the reasons why I believe there is a good possibility that Khilafah might be just around the corner. Allahu Alam. I have few comments. I will answer your comments. Abdu, salam brother, welcome salam. Oran Cherry, assalamu alaikum, welcome salam brother. Faizan, wa alaikum assalam. Super, assalamu alaikum salam. Skylark, Vulture, assalamu alaikum brother. How are you today? Alhamdulillah brother, I'm doing good. Jazakallah khair for asking. What are you talking about today? Can we ask anything? Yeah, you can ask. You can ask anything. I mean, related to the topic, of course. I would appreciate that. Okay, are you upon the manhaj of Salaf, brother? I am on the manhaj of the Quran and Hadith, and I follow strictly Quran and Hadith. I do not come up with my own interpretation, my own opinion. I believe in what the Hadith speaks about and what the scholars, how they explained it. If that means I'm a Salafi, whatever, I don't really care. But dear brothers and sisters, we need to really not emphasize on these labels, because then we are divided. As I said, one of the reasons why Khilafah might be coming is because we are divided. We should not be divided. Super person, assalamu, can you give advice on making hijrah or when we have to make hijrah? Making hijrah, I'm not sure which country you are in right now, dear brother. Super person, awesome boy. A king will be Jazirat al-Arab, and 3 sons of Khilafah will fight. Who are they? Wallahu alam. We do not know who these sons of the Khalif would be. They will come, according to my understanding, after WW3. Things will be very chaotic. But these sons of Khalif, they will not be very righteous, because they'll be fighting for a treasure, and that treasure, according to the ulama, belongs to the Muslims. The last glimpse of hope is Mahdi, inshallah. Quick, awesome boy, and luxury. When is your prediction for Mahdi? It is going to, as I said, number 1, Allahu Alam. Number 2, from my understanding, it will be after WW3. And WW3 will happen mostly because of the chaotic situation we're in right now. A king will die. Okay, please predict the Mahdi. A king will die. I don't know why he's asking the same question. Please, Syed Mahmud, predict when Mahdi will come. Why are you asking asking me the same question? The real papers, WW3, the real papers. Faizan, what do you think of the man called Muhammad bin Abdullah in the royal family? I did look him up. This brother, I will make a separate video, inshallah, on him. Some people say he's the Mahdi. We'll talk about this, inshallah, details. I know about him. I looked it up. People saying they will have black flag. Don't you think Taliban can change that color? They are not this Khorasan army. They are not up to power grab. Okay, they don't care about whether you call them Khilafa or whatever you call them. They don't care. The only thing they care right now is their country, establishing Islamic law. That's all they care. Inshallah, you can let me know if you have more comments in the comment section below. You can ask me question. Inshallah, I will see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.